If you could, please do it. If I could, Mariah, if I could, like you. Sorry, Chris. What? I ain't showing no print. I'm in the six. I'm about to take set. The picture saying it clear. I think I had an epiphany. My eyes is open. I'm wide work. Thinking like all Joe's my thing. That was my mistake. Coming up my perfect. All Joe's gonna steal my identity. And never surrender the ink. I'm bringing that energy. I'm about to bring that everything. Bring this hand out. Try to harm me. I'm a total distributor. Cause what I heard was a fact. Good night. Eyes up to the clouds, looking for a better day. Head full of stress, need another place for my head to lay. They wanted raw shit. I'm about to give it to them. Came up with a boss bitch. She get fly, sit in the living room. So ain't no time to crap. It's time to get it out. And then this was part of the plot. I was just filling them out. Cut from another club. And a whole other vesture. Yeah, I'm all thick. Check the color and texture. And the talk and the wrist. Look how raw you got. They know that I'm big. I deserve all of it. Strap for heaven first. I outlive all my niggas. Yeah, that rich when the trouble comes out. Sorry, sir. If you could, you pass me one as well. Wow, sir. Appreciate it. You clip it. All right, Shalom. This is ISUPK Reservations class, man. Here again, live. Here to bring the truth to all so-called North American Indians, Hispanics, and black people, aka the true Israelites according to the Bible, man. What we're going to touch today, man, is the hidden gems, the hidden jewels lost here in America, and that's the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. What we're going to touch on today is the history that they've taken from us, the history that they've hidden from the so-called North American Indians, Osiris Christ. And this is from the North American Indians, blacks, and Hispanics, man. What we're going to touch on today is the history that the so-called oppressor has stolen and hidden from us here in America. The so-called North American Indian, the Hispanics. We've been called Asians, that we came from a land bridge. You ever heard this, like the land bridge thing that they taught you that in school? What is it called? The Asiatic land bridge or something like that. It was between Alaska and Russia. It was a land bridge that they had, and that they said that's how the so-called North American Indians and the Hispanics came to America. So if you talk to many so-called scholars and people that think they know history, they'll tell you that the North American Indians come from Asia, that they're Asiatic people. So that's what we're gonna touch on today. Is that the North American Indians, that we not Asian. The same way black people are told they Africans and they not Africans, is the same way they done that here in America. And we're gonna get it in history, and we're gonna get it in the Bible. The Bible is a history book, man. That's what we don't realize. We think this book called the Holy Bible is a goddamn fairy tale, man. When this Bible is 100% truth, and it's the truth and history of the Israelites, aka blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians.
That's right.
But how come we don't know we Israelites? How come we don't know who we are here in America? Because our knowledge have been stripping from us, man. It is said that the people with the number one, you can go look this up, with the most lost heritage is the North American Indian. Right behind them, guess who? The black man, the Hispanic man. Our heritage and our culture has been stolen from us from generations. You can't even tell how you got here, man. You got Native American Indians that'll go with the land bridge there. You got Native Americans that'll talk about, oh, we've always been here. That don't make no damn sense. I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, because if we all know history, life began in the Middle East. That's facts. You can't deny that. Life started in the Middle East. So if life started in the Middle East, how did the North American Indian get here to the American continent? You can't answer that. You wanna know why? Because you don't study. You don't learn. You take every word and babble that comes out the mouth of your oppressor, man. The European, the colonizer, whatever you want to call him, man. We, in the ISUPK, we call him the damn devil, the deceiver, because he's stolen everything from us. He's stolen our culture, our heritage, and the God-given land that sits between our feet right now. Go ahead, give me that if you could. What we're going to touch on today is a historical book called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, man. And I highly suggest every brother, any Native American Indian, any Hispanic that is looking in to learn more on their history and their heritage to buy this book. I believe it jumped in price. It used to be, a few years ago, it used to be about $16, $20, and then it went to like $1,000, and then $300. And I believe now this is a reprint, so I believe this is back to like $20 or $30. But that's only because the ISUPK have been using this book to bring out the truth that they don't want you to know. And what's that truth? Is that you black man, you Hispanic man, you Native American Indians, the ones that they are killing on the reservations, that they are pumping with meth and heroin, that you're the lost tribes, that you're God's chosen people.
That's right.
Go ahead, give me that.
Kano Khan. This is the book of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Page 77. All his life, Columbus's ideas about geography were permeated with a peculiar religious mysticism.
Now, let me touch on this right here. The reason I'm having this brother bring this part out, because it talks about Columbus. This book heavily talks about Columbus's diary and how he came here to America. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Contrary to popular belief, Columbus did not think the world was flat. I'm sorry. Columbus thought the world was round, and the way he found that out was from the Bible. You understand? Columbus read the Bible. Columbus read the Second Esdras, and that's how he knew where to find the so-called lost tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
You go look up, and you realize this. If you do some research, man, and you get some knowledge in your damn head, and just stop getting high, you'll realize one thing, man, that the so-called Vatican, they funded Columbus's travel here to America, along as many other conquistadors and more colonizers. Why is that? Because the so-called Vatican, those priests, those whatever you want to call them, those false prophets, the Pope, he ushered in for the enslavement of the Americas. Why? Because he knew that the so-called North American Indians and the Hispanics, that they were the children of Israel, man. And that's what it's going to touch on right now, how Columbus knew that he wasn't coming here to America. He wasn't coming to India. He knew he wasn't coming to India. He come to another part of the world. Why? Because he knew that's where he would find the lost 10 tribes. Go ahead if you could.
Kano Khan. He kept a book of prophecies in which he collected quotations, mostly from the Bible.
Mostly from what?
Mostly from the Bible.
Why is this? Because Columbus was a Catholic. Columbus was a Christian. Christians want to talk about God loves everybody and all this nonsense. If you're a Native American Christian, if you're a Hispanic Christian, Catholic, whatever you are, you have been successfully colonized, man. Why? Because you are following the religion of your oppressor. Columbus was a Christian from the jump, and he slaughtered damn near, I believe they said once he left, it was about 80 million North American Indians he slaughtered, man. And that's only from the northern hemisphere. We're not talking about South and Central America yet. That's only the ones he killed in the north. That means in the Cuban Islands, West Indies, all that. Columbus came here to slaughter. Yeah, you want to talk about this book is about all love. That God is all love, and Christianity is a religion of peace. And he slaughtered us by the sword, man. Go ahead, brother.
Often those dealing with isles far off, that seem to prophesy his own discoveries.
It's in the what?
Prophesy his own discoveries.
What prophesy what discoveries? America. Continue.
His personal copy still in existence today of Pierre de Illis Imago Mundi, a kind of Christian Plinian synthesis of world geography.
Go ahead.
Contains numerous notes handwritten in the margins that are of similar religious import.
Now here's the thing. This is what it's talking about right here. Columbus studied geography. Columbus wasn't no idiot, man. A lot of people want to portray him that Columbus got lost and he thought he was going to India, when in reality he knew exactly where he was going. That's what it's talking about right here. All his collection of geographical maps and his connection to the prophecies that in the Apocrypha detailed him where to find the lost tribes is how he founded America. Continue. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Terrestrial paradise perhaps is the place which authors call the Fortunate Islands.
Go ahead.
Later on, the notes are more willing to be skeptical about this location for Eden. But Columbus never ceased searching for it and went to his grave believing that his discoveries had brought him close to it.
Now, why do you think he found Eden, man? Because it's like, let me reword that if I could. Columbus thought here he founded the Garden of Eden. Why is that? Because he found the Israelites, man. He said he was close to it. Why? Because he came here and he found the Israelites. He found the lost 12 tribes. What it also says in here is that there's a part where the North American Indians are greeted or met with Spaniards, the Seminole Indians, if I'm correct, down there in Florida. And let me try to remember about the story correctly. The conquistador asked them, they were talking with the conquistador, and one Native American hopped off the boat and said, Shema Yasha Allah Lahayna Yahweh Chad. And you know what he said? He said, I'm from the tribe of Reuben. The tribe of Joseph is just on that island over there. We're going to get into that as well. Continue, brother, if you could.
Khan. A striking element in Columbus's geographical religiosity is his intense and abiding interest in the fourth or second book of Esdras. The two apocryphal books of Esdras purport to be additional writings by and about the Old Testament Ezra.
Now this is talking about how Columbus founded America. You gonna read the book of Second? You got an apocryphal?
Sir.
All right, no sweat. We're not gonna get into it yet, but we're gonna touch on it. This book of Second Esdras, chapter 13. It talks about the lost 9 tribes. Who's that? They're the so-called Hispanics and North American Indians. That's Naphtali, Reuben, Gad, Issachar, Simeon, some of Levi. Who else am I forgetting? Ephraim. Manasseh, Reuben. All them 9 tribes. They came here to America, and that's in Second Esdras. It's telling you right here that Columbus used Second Esdras, a piece of the Bible, to find America. It don't say the word America in Second Esdras. We're gonna show you. It's gonna say where he found the lost tribes and where the lost tribes ran to. That's how he was able to find America. Go ahead.
But the second or fourth book is a piece of full-fledged Hellenistic apocalyptic writing that was often regarded with suspicion by the church and just as often embraced by the heterodox.
Now you want to know why it was skepticized? You want to know why your modern day church don't use the Apocrypha? Because it tells of history. It tells of history. Why is that? It talks about Alexander the Greek. Who's the other one? Pompey. It talks about Pompey. It talks about all these Roman generals and the slaughtering that they did to overtake Jerusalem.
That's
And
right.
the slaughtering they did to overtake Israel prior to Christ being on the scene. So it ties up the Bible all together. That's why they don't tell you about the Apocrypha. I know before I came into the truth, I didn't even know the Apocrypha existed. I always got told, oh, there's lost books from the Bible, man. Yeah, there was books taken out of the Bible. Till one day I came into school and they said, you know what, man? This is the Apocrypha, the lost 14 tribes, lost 14 books of the Bible that they took out. Why? Because it talks about the history, how the North American Indians and Hispanics came over here and how the so-called Romans overtook Jerusalem. How the Hispanics and North American Indians, how they ended up in Assyrian captivity, man. This is why they took it out. This is why you don't have. That's why you don't got in your church books today. That Bible you got at church is a watered down Bible, man. That's why we only use in here is the King James 1611.
That's right.
It's like the first authorized English Bible. Go ahead if you could for me, Ari.
Kanu Khan. Augustine had given guarded approval to Esdras' prophetic claims, and much was always to be made of this by the latter's defenders.
By what?
By the latter's defenders,
Go ahead.
including Columbus. In the marginal notes to Columbus's copy of the Iliad is a relatively lengthy discourse of 2nd Esdras 6:42, which reads, 2nd Esdras 6:42 is the Greek form of the name Salakia.
Go ahead.
2nd Esdras 6:42 is the Greek form of the name, and it is the form used instead of Ezra. In the Vulgate, where Nehemiah is the second book of Esdras, this is why Esdras 1st and 2nd of the English Apocrypha are often referred to in Romance countries as the 3rd and 4th books of Esdras. We shall use the English enumeration.
You skip to the second, not that paragraph, but the next paragraph.
Con.
Give me that one. Actually, no. So, I do need the first paragraph. Give that to me. Yeah, give me that. Give me that. Yeah, give me that.
Kano Khan. Upon the 3rd day, thou didst command the waters should be gathered up in the 7th part of the earth. 6 parts thou hast dried up and kept them to the intent that of these some being planted of the Most High until might serve thee. This was often to be cited by Columbus, who argued that since only 1/7 of the world was water, a good deal more dry land than yet was known remained to be discovered overseas.
Now, he's talking about right here. Sly Adam, read that, all that, but it's heavy to know because you have to understand what the trials that Columbus had to go through. Because everybody else was saying the world's flat. Everybody else saying there's no other part of the world, that they all thought it was just Europe, Italy, China, and what am I thinking of? The Europe, Italy, and China. They didn't know there was an America out there. They didn't know about the West Indies. They didn't know about South and Central America out there. But Columbus, after reading the book of 2nd Esdras, after reading the Bible, he found out, him with all his geography facts, and then bringing in the prophecies that are in the Bible, he combined them together to find out there is a place called America. Now, it wasn't called America at the time, but he knew of the place called Ashereth. I believe, I can't remember how to pronounce it in the Hebrew, but Ashereth meaning, I believe, a land where no man dwelt, if I remember correctly. Land where no man dwelt, because prior to the North American Indians and the Hispanics establishing their presence on this land, no man lived here. That's why the so-called white man can still murder this place. This is damn near on his last legs. That's why you see damn near 2 months ago, half the Amazon was goddamn on fire, man. This is what you don't realize. America was untouched prior to North American Indians and Hispanics coming here to America. They came in, they treated this land, they cared for the land, they cared for the animals. Then when the so-called oppressor came in, the colonizer, the devil, the European, man, he came in, he slaughtered everything. He took till he can't take no more, man. To this day, the land is dying. You gotta give the earth time to rest. That's in the Bible. And once you have a harvest, you're supposed to give the land 7 years of rest.
That's right.
And then continue growing. But the so-called oppressor is such a goddamn devil, man. He don't realize the times and the signs. He don't realize that his kingdom is almost up. Why is it almost up? For the things he's done towards the North American Indians. For the things he's hidden from the Hispanics. The things he's hidden from black people. And we're going to continue to go into it. Go ahead, give it to me, Ike.
Khan Khan. But Columbus seems to have found more in Esdras than just this geographical argument. Here is one of the things he writes about this verse in his marginal notes. But this prophecy is not accepted by the reprobate Jews, yet it has been accepted by the innumerable ones amongst them who have believed in the Gospels. Israel has thus been split into two branches, a division predicted as inevitable by the prophet Samuel to King Saul.
Now, this is talking about right here when King David went to war with the nation of Israel, because we divided ourselves into the southern kingdom and northern kingdom. That's the northern kingdom was the Manasseh, the 9 tribes, and the piece of Levi. So in Manasseh, Ephraim, Issachar, all of them. So the Native Americans and the Hispanics. The other side of the tribe, the branch cut in half, was the southern kingdom. It was Judah, Benjamin, the other part of Levi. And they went to war against one another. Eventually, they went into different captivity. The so-called Hispanics and Native American Indians, they went into the Assyrian captivity under the Assyrian Empire. During that time, I believe 70 AD, I want to say, they took a council amongst themselves that they will go onto another land and serve their God. They knew of a land called Ashtoreth, man. You want to know why? Because King Solomon had a navy. King Solomon had ships. He was saying, you think so-called oppressor was the first one to trade amongst other nations? You think he's the one with all this, what's the word I'm looking for? Scientific knowledge to create navies and to create empires? The nation of Israel was one untouched during the time of King Solomon.
That's right.
I believe it said during his time that King Solomon, no one could touch his riches.
That's right.
And his riches was through the roof, man. He was the richest king on earth. But eventually we sinned. And that's why we here in America to this day. That's why we're here in America and we don't know our true heritage. What you call it a native Indian, meaning a savage. You're a native savage to this place, man. You call yourself a Native American. American named after America, which is named after an oppressor. So you call yourself what your oppressor wants you to be known as at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you colonize no matter what you call yourself.
That's right.
Until you identify as the nation you truly are, which is the nation of Israel, the Israelites.
That's right.
The hidden gems, man. The people that have been stolen and had their mind wiped. Continue if you could. Any more on that?
Khan Khan.
Go ahead.
The reprobate Jews themselves hold Esdras, that is the Old Testament Ezra, as a canonical authority.
Now this is you skip ahead, but I want to touch on why it said that, because the so-called Catholic and the Roman Catholic Church during that time was getting rid of the Apocrypha. That's why you had King James and them fighting to have their own Bible, fighting to have their own translated Bible, because during the time of Columbus, the Bible was translated in Latin. The only people that could read it was people that understood Latin. There was only that, and then the Dead Sea Scrolls, which was the ancient Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue. Now here in America, the so-called North American Indians and the Hispanics, they spoke ancient Hebrew.
That's right.
That's why you see many of the Lakotas, Lakota is famous, man. You go look at their alphabet. You can see ancient Hebrew letters in their alphabet. You can see in New Mexico, the Los Lunas stone, the Hispanics, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans. The reason they say they Spanish is not the same as Spaniard Spanish is because their Spanish is mingled in with their native language. What native language is that? The Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue, the ancient Hebrew. You go speaking of Mexican Spanish,
Right.
in Spain, they're not gonna understand what you're saying, man. You wanna know why? Because you're speaking the mixed. You're speaking the mixed Spanish, so you can understand. You're mixing a mixed language. You're speaking a mixed language between the ancient Hebrew and Spanish. Took me a while to get that. Salakia. We'll get that in a second. Go ahead.
Kanu Khan, Book of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, page 79. But this warlike multitude is subdued by the men from the sea. And when another multitude, a peaceable one, comes to him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry.
Now, this is a prophecy that has been fulfilled here in America. This is a prophecy that a warring multitude was subdued by a man of the sea. Who's that? The so-called oppressor, man. The European. He came in and he slaughtered us. He came in. The scriptures say this about the North American Indian, the so-called tribe of Gad, Genesis 49, that Gad is a troop, man. Gad is a troop, meaning he's soldiers. Y'all know that the North American Indians, when the North American Indians went to war with the so-called oppressor